Halloween on the high seas embarkation announcement. So freaking excited. I can't wait. I am currently making decorations for our Disney cruise stateroom door. We embark on Monday. Like, today's Friday. It's not going out Friday. You're gonna see this Monday. Literally, when this airs, I am going to be in the port looking at that beautiful ship, and I can't wait to take you with me. I am so freaking passionate about these cruises. And this cruise is special because it's literally just to make content to share with you. Today, I'm gonna show you how I make magnets. I've already made a couple, and we're gonna talk about this Halloween on the high seas tour that I'm currently getting on right now. This is actually one of the 2 completed magnets because of course we have to have Mickey pumpkins. It's Halloween on the high seas aboard Disney Cruise Line. You have to have Mickey pumpkins. I carry one with me always, but we need them on the door. So I printed these pages, and then actually 2 of these fit inside of a sleeve. I did share this in a live, but honest to goodness, I was really not happy with how that live went. I meant it to be exactly what this video is, and because that video wasn't as awesome as I wanted it to be, I was like, we're gonna leave it. We're gonna let that video sit there. She can chill in the background, and we're gonna share this on Monday so that there's just this extra video. What I mean by extra video, make sure that you come back here because we're gonna be live for the sailing away party. It's like the best part. They count down, and there's confetti that flies, and the characters are all there, and you hear the horns. The amount of years and days and times I watched other people's vlogs, and I watched that countdown and just wished that I got to do it. It's such a big deal. Even to this day, it's still a big deal. So we're gonna pack the waterproof mascara because I'm sure there's gonna be some tears. But today, as you're watching this, I am embarking on that cruise, so make sure that you stay tuned for the live later. Make sure that you're subscribed, turn on notifications, otherwise you won't know that this is happening, and hang out with us live for the sailing away party. Earlier on, I took these 2 images and I just stacked it on one piece of paper, and then I printed that paper. And then what I did is I took those pieces of paper and I split them in this sheet. This is a laminating sheet, and I put one pumpkin here, and then I fed that through my laminator. Now, these things are not that expensive. This one even has a cutter on it. I cut everything else out by hand, but this is our laminator. So we're gonna get that heated up. I've got it switched on now, it's warming up, and then we're gonna take this piece of paper, we're gonna slide it into one of those laminating sheets. It's gonna go through there, be completely coated, and then we're gonna take that, cut it out, and make sure it's all nice and neat, and then it's gonna go onto this magnetic sheet. This side right here has adhesive on it, and then this, after I cut it out, will make that picture, this little piece of paper, turn into this cutesy little magnet that will go on the doors. Now, so I did just find these images. I'm not reselling them. I'm not anything. There's Mickey pumpkins galore all over the place that you can find. You can make your own if you wished, and you're that talented. I'm not reselling anything. I'm just using them for my own creation. There are Mickey pumpkins and pictures and things galore if you look around. Just don't sell them because you can get in trouble. But if you're making them for your own use, it's not gonna hurt anything. So I have 2 of these Mickey pumpkins, and then this image I actually created in Canva. I picked the text, I created the curve and changed the different curves. So this is actually 3 different lines of text, and I just created the different curved angles so that I could line it up the way I wanted it to, just however it made me happy. And then I love Chippendale's outfits. This is not what they are in. Of course, on the cruise, they're in something else, but it's still fun. And pumpkins, because seriously, pumpkins I think are my favorite thing for fall, for Halloween to consume. I love anything pumpkin flavored. I wonder if there's special pumpkin things aboard this cruise. We're gonna find out, so stay tuned because I'm so excited. I just placed these little figures where I wanted them. Like, I just love these little boos, this cute little boo with that. But I'm gonna take this, laminate it, and I'm gonna adhere it, and I'm gonna show you that whole process. These laminating sheets are really cool because it's basically like one big long sheet. It has this crease at the top. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay this out, and I'm gonna put this paper inside, and I'm gonna make sure that it's nestled right into that crease, and then I'm going to cover it, and I'm gonna make sure everything is still flat and aligned, and then I'm going to put it bent side. That fold is gonna go in first so it doesn't create any bubbles. It's gonna slide through this laminator, and then on the other side it's gonna be all sealed and good to go. Now you're gonna wanna make sure that you keep a hold of this and take a look at it so that the angle remains, because otherwise it can get bent and it can create these weird strips in it. It's not that you can't redo it, but we really like to invest our time wisely and not do things more than once. You know what I'm saying? While I cut this out, let's talk about this itinerary. We are doing a 5-night Bahamian cruise, which means we are not going to leave the Bahamas, which means we're also going to be maybe an 8-hour drive from Florida. It's really not that far. But what we're going to be doing is 2 days at Disney's private islands, both of them. So we go 1 day to Castaway Cay and then 1 day to Disney's Lookout Cay. And the other 2 days are going to be days at sea, which is really great. It gives you a couple days to explore the ship. So this is really a classic itinerary for anybody who wants that Disney getaway, maybe who isn't sure about Disney cruising or cruising in general. It gives you great exposure to Disney's islands, which have so much to offer: fun food, lounging, children's splash areas, incredible character sightings and interactions, picture, photo opportunities. There's different kinds of things that you can do, like snorkeling. There's so much that you can do on these islands, and I'll break that down in a vlog to come, because one of the things I want to do is really compare these two islands and show you what they offer and what the differences are and how it looks and feels to be here, because that way you can actually take a look at these itineraries and say, well, I think I like the looks and the feels of this island more than this other one, so I'm going to stick with this particular kind of itinerary. And because this is a Halloween on the High Seas cruise, we are going to get Halloween aboard the ship. So on Castaway, we're going to be able to get off, explore the island, have some fun, relax, enjoy the beaches and the ship views on the ocean. It's going to be just perfection. Then we'll come on board and it'll be Halloween. So I don't think we're going to get dressed up. I think we're just going to explore and see what it is. We honestly booked this really last minute, and it's just me and my content creator friend. So we didn't even think about getting dressed up. But I do have something I can wear for Pirate Night. So stay tuned for that one. Really excited about this opportunity, because while Duke and I have done some of the activities on board, we've done some of the adult entertainment downstairs in the clubs, we've explored some of the clubs to a certain degree, we really haven't taken a look at the other activities. And there's a lot of things. Like, he and I have done a couple of tastings and they were so incredibly informative. If you can do a tasting, I highly recommend it. They are so good, so much fun. They give you lots of information and you won't regret it, I promise. But he and I haven't done anything else. I think we did one trivia on our first cruise, but we haven't done any since then, because we've honestly just been enjoying the tastings, or we've enjoyed food, or we've kicked back and relaxed in Satellite Falls in the adult area, or we've just existed in the pools with the kids. It's just been, for us, it's been about getting little snippets of Disney, but having these very laid back, relaxing, just vacations. So I am making a point out of this cruise to go and find all the different activities, explore all the different activities, and show you what those look like, because I can't tell you how many times I've heard from people, I don't know if I'd want to do a cruise. I think I'd be bored just like on feeling stuck on a ship in the middle of the ocean. And I thought to myself, well, I guess that's valid. You know, everyone has a different point of view on things. I just was like, oh my gosh, this is a point for education, because people don't really see what they can experience. They don't know what they can, they honestly don't know what they don't know. So I want to go and just show all of these different experiences. And I want to make a vlog just about the activities that you can do on board the ship, and why you don't necessarily need to pay for a port adventure or a shore excursion. You could stay on the ship and explore the things that are here, whether it's with your family or just for yourself. So I'm totally excited. If you've cruised with Disney and you've done an activity, I would love to know what that activity is. I'd love to know how you felt about it. And if you've done a lot of activities, I would really appreciate knowing what your favorites are, because so many people talk about them, and I know a lot of people love the different trivias, and I know that there's a lot of adult activities down in the clubs that are people's favorite. Meet Your Match was just freaking hilarious. And I don't think that Duke really expected that vibe on a Disney ship, because it's in an adult only area and it's for adults, so it's not like it was family friendly. It wasn't like super spicy, but a little spicy. And that was kind of fun, because then you don't feel like everything is all about your kids. Our kids are amazing and we love them, and kids in general, having a family, great. If that's what you want to do, I'm happy for you. We have kids, but I also understand that there are a lot of people out in the world who aren't having kids, and it's important to showcase what these experiences can be like for people who don't. So I really want to get down there and I want to see what these events are, and I just really want to know if you have one that's your favorite. If you've cruised with Disney before, I really want to know what your favorite ship is, if you've been on more than one, what your preferred itinerary is, or maybe share down below what your favorite activity on board is, because I know that there are so many different things that we can do. I want to know what people are loving most so that I can share that information later and help people see what those are. Oh my gosh, this takes forever. So close to being done with this, and then I can put this piece on that magnetic backing and then cut that out and be done with the magnets. Oh, I can't even wait because that's just really not that far away. It's just a couple days, and I'm really looking forward to this. Like I said, it was a last minute cruise, and I wasn't obviously anticipating doing any of this, but it'll be a nice little thing, and I think my friend will appreciate it because he's never done the door decorations before. If you're thinking maybe you want to make some magnets for yourself in general or for your door if you're going to be doing a Disney cruise, then please make sure that you check in the description down below. There's a whole bunch of links, including one to my Amazon storefront, and there is a list in there for making your own cruise magnets. Now I'm going to take this protective backing for the adhesive side, remove it, and I'm going to place our little Halloween on the high seas laminated strip. Let's see, can I save? Oh, I thought I was gonna have to use long ways and have to waste a lot of the sheet, but I'm not. I can actually fit it. Oh, I can fit it up on one end, which means I can still save all of this. Not that I need to. These packs that I shared down below, this is one pack, and this is the same one that we opened from before, and I made the stuff for all of our cruises so far, and I still have a whole nother package of these, and oh my gosh, this is a lot of laminating sheets. So you definitely get a lot out of these, and I think that you really get the value of it really quickly. So I'm just gonna press this down really firmly to make sure that she's adhered. Oh, I'm gonna put this sheet that was protecting the sticky side of it. I'm gonna put it actually back down over the side that doesn't have anything on it so I can reuse it. Plus it'll actually make cutting this segment a little bit easier because it won't be sticking to my scissors. I wish I knew where my other crafting scissors were because these are just not the best. They're like one of my kids' scissors from school that just didn't end up going back at the end of the year. They didn't get reused, so they're not the sharpest tool in the shed. So what can you expect from this coming vlog series? Well, a lot of videos. I'm gonna do my best to really just show as much as I can. It's really important to me to do full dining reviews. I know that those are out there, and so is it necessary? Maybe not, but for me, I want to do it. Duke and I, it's how we met. It's what we love doing. We love talking about how people created things, the flavors that they put in, and how the textures pair together, and how fun it is. So are we foodies? Absolutely. So doesn't it make sense for me to do a food review of every single dining location? So that's gonna include not only the rotational dining restaurants that we're going to have every night, but it's also going to include cabanas, the upstairs location. It's going to include some alternatives when it comes to your embarkation day strategy. In fact, there's going to be a whole embarkation day strategy to begin with. So if you're looking for that information, make sure that you're subscribed and that you have notifications turned on, because I am going to have a whole just for embarkation day, everything you need to know and the best strategy for when you get on board. I'm gonna have comparisons of the two Disney islands so that you can kind of see that way if there's one itinerary you like more than the other, because it's going to go to a particular island, then you have that information. I'm also going to separate my daily vlogs for these experiences. This is embarkation day, that's one video. There's gonna be one video that's for Castaway Cay and what we're doing on the island that day. And then because that day is also the same day that we're doing the Halloween festivities on board, Halloween, the event itself, will be a separate vlog. So there's going to be a lot of videos, and I'm going to do the same thing on Lookout Cay because that's going to be the same day that we have Pirate Night. And I love that event, and there's so much, and it's just, so all of these are going to be separate vlogs. You can also expect a packing video that's going to come out in advance of a lot of the daily videos. You're also going to see one that's dedicated to the activities. You're going to get 411 information. You're going to get a whole planning guide for Disney Cruise. There's going to be a lot coming. I'm working my booty off on this trip to make sure that I can get all of that good information for you so that you can really plan your best Disney cruise. We need that help. We need that bit of guidance that's like, oh, no, I really don't want to invest my money on that. I'd rather spend it over here. Or I don't really know that I want to do any experiences. I want to stay on board the ship, do those activities, and save my money for merch. I am going to make sure that I include a merch video. I'm going to go through the merch locations. I'm probably going to even make that a separate video because there's like, oh my gosh, now I can't even remember. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4 merch locations, right? Because there's jewelry, fine purses and stuff like that. Well, and then there's like the little one that's upstairs. There's 4 technically. That was right the first time. Yay, huzzah for me. But I want to show you what that looks like, because some people just go, oh, I'm going to save money and I'm not going to buy any merchandise. And I talked about this actually in my Walt Disney World tips. A lot of people will think, oh, we're just going to save money. We don't need to buy any kind of merchandise because we're going on the trip. So many times people come on these trips and then they see the stuff and they love the stuff and they're having a great time on their trip, and so now they want to buy the merchandise. Let's make sure that you just save money for merchandise. And if I can give you an idea of what that pricing looks like, the kind of things they offer on board, then that way you know what your budget is going to look like or what you want to allocate for your souvenirs. Is it just $20 because you're going to get a coffee mug, or you really want to get a Spirit jersey, or you want to get a Dooney and Burke purse? Like this one. Isn't she pretty? I love her. Isn't she pretty? Oh, I love her so much. She's my daily though too, because she's also not too big. But if you can see how much these things cost, like I said, it's gonna help you know what you're gonna budget for, because a lot of people just, they don't think about all the different budgetary aspects. They don't think about the extras. They don't think about just the souvenirs. They don't think about popcorn that you can purchase before you go into the theater, which is actually included if you're concierge. But there's all these little things, but for the most part, everything is already wrapped up and paid for on a cruise, which is one of my favorite things because it feels like an all-inclusive that way. You know what I'm saying? Sure, you have to pay for your flight, or you have to drive there and you pay for parking, etc. But once you're on board the ship, your soda's included, your basic coffee is included, your dessert is included, your meals are included, and the meals are nice. They're no joke. They're nice sit-down dining meals, and you don't have to think about where you're going or making a reservation or coordinating anything, because the day you get to the port and you get your key to the world card, it tells you with letters exactly where you're dining each one of those nights. I have another coffee card. The other coffee card from the January cruise, it was in with my key to the world, because we filled one and then we had another one.
Cool.
I know. Well, I went to pull this so I could show what the dining rotation was, but it's not here. I know, I was like, yay! Okay, I'll take it. Well, I mean, there's 3 stamps on it, but that means we're quicker to getting, you know, a free one. So you'll know upon check-in exactly where you're dining and what that looks like, and it's just like, you don't have to think about it. Now, if you don't want to do that, you can let your server know the night before, or ask one of the members of the dining team to let your server know, and then they won't expect you and they won't prep for you, because believe me, they prep for you. They learn you, they make notes, and they go, this is what this person wants, this is what they like every night, this is what they want to have when they sit down to dine. They ask you if that's your prep. Like, they make it so mindless. Like, make the mental load for the guest as minimal as possible. You sit down and you're like, look, for me at least, look, my sparkling water is already here. I don't have to tell them that I want sparkling water. They know that I want it and it's already here. Make sure that everything is set up for you, and it's so great. And I want to really include that in those dining reviews, because it's above and beyond any service that I've ever experienced.
Is there a bar out there where you got a favorite chair? Think of you when I think about forever.
There's going to be individual dining reviews for each one of the restaurants, so you know what you're getting into. You have more than a 3-night cruise, you're going to experience one of those dining locations twice, and actually they will have a different menu from the first time that you were there. So it'll be interesting to show you how those can compare. You can also expect planning videos. I'm going to make some that are like Disney 411, everything that's included, how it works, what happens, that you have this whole breakdown of what it's like to be aboard a Disney cruise that's straight informative. Then I'm also going to include planning tips so that you know what best to do. I'm going to have a separate video dedicated to just like embarkation day strategy. Now, while a Disney cruise is going to be far less to plan and coordinate than a Walt Disney World vacation, and definitely one again that we prefer, there's still a bit to coordinate. Most of it happens before you even get on board the ship. You coordinate your activities and what you're doing when your booking window opens, and that depends on sailing categories. So if you've been aboard numerous times, then you're gonna have that opportunity to book those before others. If you're DVC, you can book it before others. Or concierge, you can book it before others. So if there are certain things like Paolo or Remy or maybe a cabana at one of the islands, you're gonna get come for serve for that a lot faster than, you're gonna have access to that a lot sooner than anyone else. But I'll give you all of those planning details in a separate video too, because I want to make sure that people can really make the most out of the budget that they are setting up for themselves. Vacations are expensive, and like I literally just said, if I can give you the details, if I can give you the help, and I can get you the information that can help you make the most of the money that you're investing into these trips, the better. As I mentioned, activities, I want to share all those activities in a separate informative vlog. I also want to like emphasize just the characters that you can see on board, how they look different, they have different outfits. It's super fun, the different interactions you can have and what that can look like. Because one of my biggest sticking points when Duke and I were initially talking about taking a vacation with the kids, and he was like, oh, we should bring Lorelai with us when we do the surprise Walt Disney World and Universal split stay that we did. He was like, we should bring Lorelai. I was like, nope. He's like, why not? She would love it. She'll live in the magic. And the thing is that at the time, our kids were 15, 7, and Lorelai was 3. And I'm just like, no, because that 3-year-old is going to get like, you know, she's going to get tired and she's going to be input overload by like 3 o'clock, and everyone will have to cease. And it's one thing if like they're only kiddo, or you go into it expecting it, or maybe you've been here more and you're not coming for your first vacation, then fine. You can only spend a little bit of time in a park and then go out and maybe do a pool day the rest of the day, and maybe people won't mind. But if it's your first experience, I didn't want the kids to be held back from experiencing as much as they could physically do and wanted to do and were excited to do, because, you know, our toddler was like, I can't do this anymore. And that's perfectly fine. They're young. They can only handle so much. It's exhausting. I told him instead, I was like, when we can next year, then we should consider a cruise, because there's more characters. She'll be living in that character magic and she won't care. She'll just be excited. And then she'll also have the freedom to run around in the kids club and do all kinds of crafts and play games and have dance parties. And oh my goodness, like it ended up being, he saw that it was the better choice because we were walking around parks. I know we've told the story. If you haven't seen it, we've talked about it before, but he knows, and he was like, yeah, it was the best, because he saw these kids at the parks and they were just wiping out, and it was like, oh my gosh, I can't do this anymore. They're exhausted. He saw it was really beneficial to take her at a different time. So when we did our first cruise, she was 4, and it was just so fun to watch her face. I mean, her favorite character, I think it's still the same, but at the time at least it was Minnie. And to have Minnie be the one who was greeting us as soon as we got on board, like I lost it. I was just like, you want those moments for your kids, and I got it. So, or well, she got it. I, the parent, got to see my kid living in that magic, and that's magic, and that's a gift. I'm done. Here's my cute little Halloween on the high seas door magnet that I can just set on that door, and I've got my little pumpkins. So maybe we'll do like a little thing, or we'll have to find out. You know, actually, you'll have to find out too. So I hope that you will subscribe, because it costs you nothing in the world, and it is very supportive to me. And you can make sure those notifications are turned on, and you can come back and see exactly how we decorate our door on embarkation day. Oh, you know, it's already going, like by the time this goes out, we will have already embarked. In fact, our live coverage of sailing away will have already happened as well. But I really hope that you'll stay tuned for it, because I'm highly passionate about these cruises. I think they're just amazing. And there's something unbelievably relaxing about like just seeing the wake, seeing the big expanse of sky, seeing that beautiful ocean that is unbelievably powerful and yet so incredibly peaceful to look at. I just can't wait. I can't wait to show you all the food. I can't wait to tell you about all the different things and help you plan your most amazing Disney cruise. Thank you so much for being here. Do whatever possible to live your version of a brilliant, bold, beautifully empowered Disney cruise-filled life. Cheers.